Good afternoon and welcome to the latest issue of Print21, the weekly video news bulletin for all the Australia and New Zealand print industries. This issue is sponsored by Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and press room consumables, and now supplying wide format equipment. Revenue from digital outdoor media, like this sign behind me in the middle of the street here, hit 2/3 of total spend for the first time in the first quarter figures, sending print revenue into decline. But forward forecasts still look positive for print. The out-of-home industry saw an increase of 11.8% on net media revenue for Q1 2023, reporting 259.4 million, up from 232 million same quarter last year. Digital out-of-home revenue now accounts for 67.6% of the total net media revenue. That's year to date, as an increase over the recorded 57.6% for the same period last year. Print share has slipped to less than 1/3 of the total revenue for the first time, and in cash terms, the first quarter of this year saw $84 million spent on print, compared with $98 million in the same period last year. The outdoor industry, though, is projecting an annual compound growth rate of 9% over the next 4 years. That translates to an almost 50% uptick in the current $1 billion a year revenue, meaning even with a declining market share, the volume of cash spent on print will likely increase. Digital, of course, faces other challenges as citygoers rail against signs like these, placed right in the middle of pavements, particularly on narrow pavements. The nation's biggest regional newspaper publisher, Australian Community Media, is selling or closing 9 more printed newspapers. That's in addition to the 4 West Australian papers it's already closing. ACM cites soaring newsprint costs, up 80%, almost doubling in a year, and falling advertising revenue for its issues with printed newspapers. ACM inherited 9 newspaper printing plants when it bought the Fairfax Regional Press. At least 6 of those have now been closed or sold off. The company now will reportedly sell 7 titles in New South Wales, Central West and South West regions after Provincial Press Group approached ACM with an offer. A deal is expected to go through by the end of this month. Unlike ACM, Provincial Press Group runs its own newspaper press. In its case, the Goss Community with Muller Martini Alpha Line inserter. Printers who were buying plates, software and a raft of other offset necessities from AGFA, well-known brand over many years, will now be buying them from ECO3. That's the new brand for the newly independent business. ECO3 will supply offset plates, graphic film, software, chemicals, equipment including CTP and services. It's owned by a private equity fund, Aurelius Group. It paid €92 million for what was AGFA's biggest division, Offset Solutions. Mark Brindley, former Managing Director of AGFA Australia New Zealand and now Managing Director of ECO3 in Australia New Zealand, said there's no change in supply, in sales or service for our local customers. Our ABN and ACN remain the same, the only difference will be the new brand. It's a different name on the box, he said, but the product inside, the support and the services that our customers receive will be exactly the same. Finally, Visual Impact Sydney is set to feature a photo and fine art expo. They showcase the growing opportunities in digital wide format inkjet printing for the reproduction of photographic and art reproduction, that's on a wide range of materials. The demand for museum quality work is growing at something like 8% a year. That's according to some sources, with top level printers used to reproduce the images on everything from specialist papers to canvas and other media. The growth in interest, coupled with the increasing sophistication and capabilities of wide format inkjet printers, is tempting many businesses in the print, sign and display world to move into this high value market. The Photo and Fine Art Expo, it'll be located on the show floor at the Sydney show, Homebush there, will feature a display of outstanding imagery and will be supported by suppliers to the sector. They include KL Australia, Epsom, Spices, Canon and Starleton. KL Australia, in fact, will be running daily workshops on the fine art of inkjet printing. Go to print21.com.au and follow the link to story to register. That's it for this week's episode of Print21. Thanks to our sponsor, Ball & Doggett, Australia's largest supplier of printable materials and press room consumables, and now into wide format solutions. This is Wayne Robinson, editor of Print21, signing off outside a digital sign for the weekly news video bulletin.